Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Kansas City Profiles presented by Easton Roofing. Well, this week's profile is something a little bit different that we've done from time to time. Not a profile of a special individual, but more of a grand story. And certainly the story of Cristo Rey High School in Kansas City lives up to the billing of grand. Cristo Rey concept originated in Chicago in 1996. As news of the school's success spread, local Kansas City business leaders pushed to establish a school for high economic needs students in the urban core. Sponsored by the Sisters of Charity of Leavenworth, Cristo Rey Kansas City opened in 2006, and since then it has grown to 350 students. Cristo Rey is located at Linwood and Broadway in Kansas City, Missouri, and currently 35 Cristo Rey high schools serve urban students across the country. It's better for me to go to the heart of the matter with some of the people involved with Cristo Rey to tell you this really, really fine story. And we'll start with John O'Connor, the president. Also, we will speak with Ted Coppin. He's the director of the Corporate Work Study Program. It's the signature and differentiating component in the Corporate Work Study Program. Work study students fund approximately half of their education with it, gain job experience, and realize the relevance of their learning while providing real value to local businesses. And we'll talk to one of the standout students at Cristo Rey and somebody who is a standout worker as well. That's Jennifer Espinoza. They will tell the story of Cristo Rey, a fascinating and inspirational one, coming up next on Kansas City Profiles, presented by Easton Roofing. We're here with Joe Spiker, the president of Easton Roofing. And Joe, you worked for other companies in the construction industry. What inspired you to start your own company in Easton Roofing?
Well, you know, Danny, when you are working for somebody else, you oftentimes don't get to see the project through from beginning to end, and you don't get the final control over the customer experience. And I wanted to build a place where people can come and get work done on their house and not have to worry about being treated the wrong way and get a good customer service experience start to finish.
The company slogan is "Where Integrity Matters." Why is that so particularly important to you?
Well, for us, what that means is treating each other with respect at work, treating our clients with respect, and making the right choice, especially when no one's looking. So when you're presented all the time as a contractor with choices that have to be made, are you going to make more money on this if you cut a corner? And we just wanted to make a place and a slogan that said to our people and to whoever is our customer, we're not going to do that. We're going to make the right choice regardless of profit.
Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Are you thinking of starting a new business? Does your current business feel stuck? Or are you just trying to grow what you already have? Running a business is a lot of work, and it takes the right team to make it all happen. If you're looking to grow your business, call my friends Ben and Greg over at Fuego Consulting. They put together a company that can help you reach your business goals. Whether you're looking to get online, build a social media strategy, or rebrand your business, they can help. Call Fuego at 816-663-9695 or visit them online at fuegoconsulting.com. Fuego Consulting. Let's grow your business together. Sumner One is the company to make your office maximize efficiency. Their family of companies make up one of the largest independent dealers of office technology in the Midwest. They are proud to bring the best service and technology to top companies across the region. Sumner One can help your organization run more smoothly than ever. Sumner One printers, copiers, MFPs, managed print services, document management, infrastructure design, IT services, disaster recovery, and business continuity. Welcome to the one place where everything works. For more information, call Carl Little at 913-752-2256. Welcome back to Kansas City Profiles presented by Easton Roofing. John O'Connor is the president of Cristo Rey, and it was a pleasure to sit down with him and get a broad view of the outlook, the goals, and the workings of Cristo Rey High School. John, tell me how you got involved with Cristo Rey.
Sure. I was a high school principal in the Diocese of Kansas City, St. Joe for a long, long time. And when the job came open to be president, I got a call from one of the board members that asked if I would apply. And so I knew about Cristo Rey just because it opened in 2006. And living in Kansas City, knew the great work they did and thought what a great opportunity it would be for me to get to know the teachers and staff better and to work at a school that does amazing things.
What were the initial challenges that you saw? They asked you to apply. You know of their great work, but was the
Sure.
day-to-day reality might be a little bit different than you anticipated. What was it like when you first started out?
Sure. The corporate work study program at the time, to be a successful Cristo Rey school, you have to have a very vibrant corporate work study program where the companies in the city are willing to hire your students. So working with Ted Coppin, and that was our goal, was to get from that 38 to 40% funded and paid jobs up to 89, 90%. And over the 2.5 years, Ted and his crew have done that. And so that was one big thing, is making sure we had the right jobs for our students, and that the companies are willing to pay for that work. So that's been really exciting. And then, of course, the budget's always a question when you have students who don't pay. They pay a little bit of the tuition. So it's always trying to find new donors, new ways to raise money in order to provide the college prep education that the kids deserve.
There's so many people these days who are trying to raise money for wonderful enterprises, obviously. And this is a great success story, and the percentages are high of success and everything else. But what's your little elevator speech when you're trying to get somebody who, they only so many corporate dollars or personal dollars or whatever?
Well, we're definitely a school that works. So the corporate work study is so unique to Cristo Rey, Kansas City, and to the network, that's a big piece of it, trying to get our students in a professional setting. So that sells itself a lot of the times. When you're going out and talking to donors, you're talking about providing a college prep education to those students in the urban core that might not get that at other high schools. And so usually education, getting those students to college and getting them out of the cycle of poverty for their families, is usually a great story, and one that really a lot of donors, a lot of businesses see as productive, and it will make Kansas City a better place.
You have a pretty rigorous enrollment process where you're trying to make sure that students are engaged and dedicated to what they're going to do, which is going to be a pretty difficult thing in combining work and school. Tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so when we do the admissions process, we really not only look at the academics, but we also look at, can they go out into the workforce and be productive, because we need to make sure that our students are able to be in a professional setting. So the admissions process, when we do that, we look at grades, we look at discipline, we look at attendance. We want to make sure that they're here, that they want to work, that they want to do well in the classroom. And if they're tardy, or if they're missing school or something like that, then that is going to be an issue. So it's really a 2 to 3 month process we look at. We bring them in early, they shadow, make sure this is the place they want to be, and then we start the process. And we do interviews. We have a committee that looks at all the information that we receive from the feeder schools, and we really make sure that we are not setting these kids up for failure also, that we're bringing them in to a environment that we know they're going to be successful.
I know that sometimes these students are checking all the boxes, maybe except the standardized testing type of model. Maybe, and there's a whole variety of circumstances that always lend itself to that. And sometimes I guess you're willing to think if this student is doing all these things right, eventually they'll get that box checked for us, correct?
Exactly, yeah. The grit of our student, we look at that and we talk about that all the time, the determination and the grit of our students. And so we look at, they might not have the best test scores coming in, but they work extremely hard. They're at school on time. They work in the classroom. They don't, they're not disrespectful to staff members. They want to be here because they know it's a better situation for them and their families. So the test scores are just a little part of that, but we get a full rounded picture of the person or of the student when we ask maybe a former teacher to give us a recommendation, a former counselor at their grade school, or maybe the principal, or an outside person like a pastor or Boy Scout leader, Girl Scout leader, something like that. So we really want to take a good look at the whole person to make sure that we're getting the right person, and we're not just using one test score or one grade, but we look at the whole person.
What's the philosophical idea behind uniforms in general?
Well, especially when we go out into the workforce. I was not here when they did not have uniforms, but I know that was a big issue that we were sending kids out in maybe inappropriate workwear. And so something that I'm glad that we did is put in that uniform so that all our kids could be recognized and look great. Our boys are in ties. They all have black pants, boys and girls. They're all in our Cristo Rey logo shirt. So they all look sharp. You can recognize a Cristo Rey student, whether it's in school, in the professional work setting, or out on the street, and I think it makes the students feel better about themselves. They look more professional. They look like they belong in those businesses and in the school. So I'm very glad that we went to a uniform years ago, and I think it's paid off for our students.
Parents like it?
Yeah, I think so. They don't have to go work at or go find clothes at any of the local stores and try to see what is the trend now. Now they can just buy three shirts at Cristo Rey, some black pants and black shoes and socks, and that's about it. So,
I will talk to your student Jennifer Espinoza about this. I think this has been the case for a while now, but maybe in underprivileged areas, a lot of times it's not quote-unquote considered cool to be a good student or try to be an achiever.
Right.
How do you maybe get past that and, maybe when somebody is maybe facing that challenge among their peer group, what's the message to them?
That's a great question. And, Sister Barbara has brought in 50 mentors, whether they're students that maybe graduated from this school or, young adults, old adults that have been through the process and have seen the importance. And I to me, bringing back the alumni and having them speak to the student body is a huge thing for our students to hear how important it was that they do what they need to do in school so that they can be ready for college or whatever their career is going to be, and how Cristo Rey formed that in them. They weren't all wonderful when they came in as freshmen. We all know that kids will be kids, but at least they can come back and share their story of maybe I messed up as a freshman, but it really took me some time to figure it out, and this is why I think it's important for you to stay here and do the work. Be proud of the work that you're doing academically, whether it's in classroom or on the court or on the stage. Be proud of who you are. Be proud that you're a Puma, because it will pay off in the long run.
Tell about the association with St. Mary's and that, this is a Catholic school, but you don't have to be Catholic, and in fact,
Sure.
About half the students are not Catholic. So talk about that whole dynamic.
Yeah, so the Sisters of Charity Leavenworth are our sponsors, religious sponsors, and so they also run the University of St. Mary in Leavenworth. So it's a great sponsorship, a great partnership that we have with the university, and we try to send more kids every year to the University of St. Mary because we know that the sisters have the same passion, mission for our students here at Cristo Rey as they do at St. Mary. So we continue to look at St. Mary as a viable option for our students and try to push our students there if they qualify academically and financially. We really hope that they will choose St. Mary's because we know what they're doing up there, and we know that they're going to provide a great education that will, again, help them out of the cycle of poverty and help them on their career path.
Brag a little bit. Give me some percentages. I know they're high with success stories, graduation, et cetera, and maybe give me a success story or two.
Yeah, so we always say this for the last 10 years. 100% of our students are accepted to college, which is great. We want more than that for our kids. We'd love 100% of our students to graduate from college. But one of the great stats that Sister Linda, who works with our alumni, share with us all the time is that 62% of our students have either graduated from college or persisting to graduation, and that really blows the number out for urban youth who have graduated from high school. So we're very proud of that. We have a robust alumni association and coordinator that helps our students if they struggle, maybe they can't pay a bill, they can't buy a book, they're having trouble getting back and forth to school. And so our alumni coordinator, Sister Linda, again, works with those students to make sure that we try to keep them in school. So we just don't leave them after freshman or senior year and graduation. We stay with them the rest of their college as long as they'll have us as they go through college to make sure that they have everything that they need. And the success stories, we have bankers and lawyers students in law school, students in med school, nurses, teachers, business majors, students at Mizzou, KU, K-State, local schools, Wichita State. We have great success stories where the students are working hard. They take what they learned here at Cristo Rey, and they make it work at the college of their choice. So, and the cool thing this year is we added two former students at Cristo Rey to our board of trustees. So, both of them are doing very well. One has a family. Both of them have really good jobs and are making a great life for themselves. So we are so proud to bring those two young men onto our board and share their story with us and to help us continue to get better and better in everything that we do.
You mentioned the mentors who come in, but it seemed like there might be a pretty large need for counseling type work outside, because these people, they probably face greater challenges outside of school than many students would in other settings.
Yeah, so we have great relationships with outside organizations. We are very blessed to have a full-time nurse on staff and a full-time personal, social, emotional counselor on staff. So if the problem becomes too big or they need services outside of what we can provide here at Cristo Rey, we work with other social service organizations to provide the help that they need, whether it's paying a bill, whether it's getting some education maybe for the parents. We work with those organizations. We reach out to those different social services in Kansas City to make sure that our parents and our students are taken care of if we cannot provide what they need here at Cristo Rey.
What's the future hold for Cristo Rey? What are some of your dreams and goals?
Sure. We continue to grow. We continue to graduate our students from college, and my biggest goal, I think, as president is to form a really robust alumni association where students come back that have graduated from here and have gone on to be successful in life, come back, work with not only our students, but provide maybe scholarship opportunities where each class maybe would have a scholarship for our students to provide that financial assistance. But I think if we can get more alumni back in the building to tell their story and to provide assistance to our current students, the sky's the limit. We're very excited about what our alumni can do for this school. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We just started this year. We have our 10th reunion coming up in June. So we're excited to see how many show up for the class of 2010 and how many are willing to give back to this school that really provided them a great opportunity to make a better life for themselves.
Coming up next, we'll talk to one of the students who benefited from just what John was talking about and benefits right now, Jennifer Espinoza, a junior. And first off, after the break, we'll talk with Ted Coppin, who makes the engine go as the director of the Corporate Work Study Program, which is at the heart of the Cristo Rey experience. That coming up next.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Looking for a truly unique escape from your normal entertainment or corporate team-building regimen? Stay tuned for an exclusive offer only for Reasonably Irreverent listeners. I'm excited to tell you about an extraordinary destination, the Exit Room, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Lee Summit. The Exit Room is a distinctive entertainment option that offers a cool alternative to the normal couples night out, family get-togethers, and corporate team-building events. The Exit Room is a one-of-a-kind boutique escape room catering to special occasions and corporate team-building events and is unmatched in the Kansas City metro. With 5 individually designed and varied escape room adventures, your party or employees can unplug from their electronic world, interact with one another, match wits, and ultimately escape the humdrum of the ordinary. The Exit Room adventures cross decades and centuries and create fascinating fun. I know the owners well. They are local folks, their staff is warm and friendly, their lobby is inviting and beautiful, and their adventures are award-winning. Check online. There are over 1,000 reviews, and note that they are a rare 5-star ranked business. Visit their website and Facebook page, and any of my listeners who books online at theexitroomkc.com using the promo code ClinkScale19 gets 10% off any ticket purchase. The Exit Room in Lee Summit. Unplug, interact, and escape.
There's no need to get a case of the Mondays every week, not during football season anyway. Hey, this is Matt Llewellyn from the 23rd Street Brewery, and we are the place for Monday Night Football. Food and drink specials every week, and all new televisions always at 23rd Street Brewery. The hardest thing about Mondays now will be getting through the workday, although waking up on Tuesdays might be a little bit tough. But remember, watch all the Chiefs games, NFL games, every game at the 23rd Street Brewery.
For many people, a family law case will be one of the most difficult experiences in their life. The law firm of Kenneth McRae will help you through it. Personal and effective help from Ken in concert with you will develop a unique strategy for your unique case. As Ken always says, divorce can be civil law, not civil war. Licensed in Kansas? Visit McCraeLawOffice.com or call 913-972-4765.
I was duped, and I recommend you be next. For better or worse, the ultra-realistic impression of me sits now in my wife's office to spook her on a daily basis. So what is Doob? D-O-O-B. It's the keepsake of a lifetime, a 3D-generated, incredibly lifelike figurine. 66 cameras take an image at exactly the same moment in any pose, and state-of-the-art 3D technology transforms that into exact replicas of you, anyone you know or love, a pet, whomever is close to your heart. Create lifetime memories with a Doob. Visit their Facebook page at Doob 3D Kansas City, or better yet, see their incredible creations. Visit their location down on the plaza in the heart of it at 231 West 47th Street in KC Mo. Doob, be next. Welcome back to Kansas City Profiles, presented by Easton Roofing, and our profile of Cristo Rey High School. Doing fantastic work in the heart of Kansas City to bring opportunity to inner city youth. And one of the big things and big engines of it is, of course, the Corporate Work Study Program. And the man who heads that is Ted Coppin. And I had a great chance to sit down with him and get the story of this excellent program. Ted, tell us how you get involved in this particular enterprise. And I know it's something that's really a labor of love for you.
Absolutely. I heard about the organization Cristo Rey when it first started up in 2006, and I love the idea that the students are basically earning half the cost of their tuition by working 1 day a week at area businesses. Essentially, the students are earning their way and through high school, working their way through high school, and then the ultimate goal being that they break the cycle of poverty. And so I followed the school from its beginning, and then I wanted to make a career change. I got to a certain point in my life where I wanted to do something I felt like I was making more of a difference, and I came to the school for a meet and greet luncheon, met the principal, met the president, and called the president that day as I was driving back to my office and said, I really want to come to work for Cristo Rey. And she said, how did you know we had a job opening in the corporate work study? I said, I did not, but can I apply? And that's how I came on board.
What were any trepidations you might have had about making this transition in your career life?
There really weren't, honestly. My background is small business. I've owned 2 small businesses and run another one for another company, and this is essentially a small business. We are a temporary agency that operates under the umbrella of a high school. We're trying to do the same thing that any small business is. We're trying to grow our revenue and control our costs and make a profit. The difference is our profit goes towards helping to educate these students.
Of course, a big part of what makes this engine go is the cooperation of the businesses that are involved with you, and you have a whole wall full of them. We walked by and I toured this. This is my second time in the building, and it's very impressive. How did that start, grow, and how do you pitch that to the businesses?
Well, the concept actually started back in 1996 in Chicago with the very first Cristo Rey. They came up with this concept of a high school in the urban core, a college prep high school in the urban core for students who otherwise would not be able to afford it. They just didn't know how they were going to fund this high school. And so they turned to a local business person who came up with the concept of the corporate work study program. Essentially, 4 students fill the role of 1 full-time position. And that was the genesis of the concept of the corporate work study program. Since then, it's grown to 37 Cristo Reys across the country. So we've grown it by going out and talking to businesses, having our current job sponsors connect us with new businesses, having our board members connect us, and just going out and talking to individuals and businesses about this concept and how these students can become valuable part of an organization, a valuable coworker, and they really do. When an organization embraces this mission, the students become part of the team, so to speak. And so we have numerous graduates who are working their way through college at their current job sponsor.
Right, and I know that there are people who, during the course of their work time there are already in a position where they're impressing these companies enough that there's a likelihood that after they finish their college studies, they may work indeed at those places.
Mm-hmm. We now have over 100 college graduates working at companies like Cerner, CBiz, Community America Credit Union, Country Club Bank, Children's Mercy Hospital, North Point Development, many more. These are students that have accomplished what our ultimate goal is for every one of our students, and that is to break the cycle of poverty and become productive members of the greater Kansas City community.
What are some of the levels of engagement or acceptance? You have so many, and it's like a who's who list of Kansas City corporations. What is it do you think appeals to these companies, and what are maybe some of their trepidations,
Sure.
if there are any?
The biggest trepidation for these companies is not it's not about the concept. It's not about helping these students break the cycle of poverty. It's about what can a 14 to 18-year-old young person actually do in my organization. And so we have job descriptions for every one of our organizations that map out, they work at the HR department in KU Med. They're in guest services at Children's Mercy Hospital. They're mailroom and HR at J.E. Dunn Construction. They're in the trust department at Commerce Bank. And so when they see that and they see like organizations and they say, "Oh, well, sure, they could do that here at our company." We had one of the HR directors at KU Med tell us that our junior and our senior can do pretty much anything that any of their full-time employees do. That they actually have access to all the records that any of their regular employees have.
Do some students, move above the level of the job description, or is it usually one company, one job that generally is fulfilled by the students? Like, could they, not climb the ladder, as it were, but do they maybe prove to the point where they could take a more challenging position?
Yeah, they actually do climb the ladder. One of our students, for example, that works at Prior Products, which is a small manufacturing company out in Grandview. He actually produced or created, was part of the team that designed a new product that they got a patent on. So he grew from the kid who just shows up and, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What role are we going to find for this kid? And then they realize he's on the robotics team and he's super smart. And hey, let's put him in our engineering departments and see what he can do.
So do they work sort of a full day at these companies?
They do, pretty much. They show up here at 7:30 every on their work day, and we have a morning message and dress code check, and they get a lunch, and then we have 12 different vehicles that take them all over the city. We're everywhere from Lee Summit to Liberty, from Olathe to up north of the river, and so they typically get to work somewhere in the 8 to 8:30 range, and then we're picking them up 3:30 to 4:30, somewhere in that range, to get them back here by 5 o'clock. So it's close to an 8-hour day. Right. It ends up being about a 7-hour day total.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have a very high percentage of success in these. I know when I was talking to you last week when we first toured, I figured maybe, a quarter of the students wouldn't pan out or something, but it's nowhere near that. And obviously your screening process creates a level of student that, lends itself to fulfilling this, but it's like 95%, right?
It's closer to 97%, actually. Yeah, our students, we do have a very strenuous admissions process, so that's a big part of the success of a Cristo Rey. We have to find the student that really wants to be here and wants to work hard, because they work one day a week, their school day is longer, their school year is longer, and so consequently they work harder, we say, than any other high schooler in Kansas City. But there's a big payback for that. Our students come back to us while they're in college and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm at KU and it's not nearly as tough as it was here at Cristo Rey, or I'm at UMKC, or I'm at Rolla, I'm at Science and Technology, and Cristo Rey really prepared me well."
The model, the location of the school lends itself to the demographics that are usually minority-based, and I guess a good part of this program is the fact that the business world is still largely Caucasian in this
Yes.
country, and it gives them an experience to realize that when they go out in the world, this is the world they are going to be entering in, right?
Yeah, it really exposes them to not only an environment that they would never have an opportunity to be in, but also to individuals that are in all these different fields, and individuals that, as you say, they don't look like them. But if you talk to any large company here in Kansas City, diversity and inclusion is on their agenda now. It's something that every company wants to be more inclusive, wants to be more diverse, and this is a pipeline essentially of diverse talent. And companies are realizing that we are providing this pipeline of students that will be their future workers.
You, when we first spoke about this, it was at a breakfast and marketing breakfast, and that's where we met. And when we toured and when we're speaking right now, you have a smile on your face a lot of the time. It seems like it's extremely rewarding work.
Absolutely, it's the best thing that I've ever done professionally, but far and away. I think I work close to 60 hours a week. I don't really count it, but it never feels like work. And I'm 5+ years in, and I've never gotten up and thought, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to work today. It's like I wake up and I'm excited about it. When you see these kids, you can't help but get excited about it. We've got some great students who want to do well, that work hard, and that really get it. And then we've got great parents as well, parents that really understand that this is an opportunity for their student to make something more of their lives and give themselves more opportunities.
Well, what it also does, I think, for you to spread this message, and maybe for these companies who realize what they end up getting, it really provides a counterbalance for, these kids these days type of thoughts, or millennials, or heck, what are they now? Generation Z, I guess is what it's being called now. But, there's a lot of negativity always from people who are a little older about whatever generation it is, but maybe in particular now with people who, like to use technology so much and play good games and things like that. And these great success stories, you can be at a dinner party or something and hear a conversation when, no, that's not what all the kids aren't like that. Isn't that the case?
No, absolutely. We like to get have people come into the building to meet our students because it blows them away, honestly. And, there's a misconception about urban core youth. I mean, if you say urban core youth to someone who's out in a suburb, they more than likely have a negative connotation about that, about those individuals. And when they come into Cristo Rey and they meet our students and they see them dressed in their uniforms and wearing ties and they say, yes, sir, and they look you in the eye and they shake your hand, they realize that maybe not all the urban core youth are what I've perceived them to be. So absolutely, it's enlightening and it's and very motivating to come into the building and to see these students.
And one of those students is Jennifer Espinoza, a lovely young lady who is carving her way and trying to break out of a cycle of poverty herself from a family which hasn't had much academic success in the past. She is a super achiever and a fun person to be around, and here is her tale. Jennifer, tell me how you first heard about Cristo Rey and your inspiration to become a student here.
Okay. So I first heard about Cristo Rey from my mother. She heard it from church, and I had other opportunities from my older school to skip a grade, and then that won't have to be a freshman and I'll graduate earlier. But then I heard about the job opportunities here, and I realized that it's worth more to have a year of experience at a workplace than to skip a year.
What was your initial impression when you came to the school? Now, you get to come before you decide what you're going to do. So when you did your tour and you were making your decision, what impressed you about the school?
So Shadow Day, that's what we call it. I think just the environment, how it wasn't really big like other colleges. High schools.
Right.
And so I fit in with my personality more. I'm more conservative, and I like to know everyone I'm at school with.
And so did you find it welcoming?
I did, yes.
Yeah. And what were some of the challenges when you first started out? What were some of the things that maybe you, was there anything that surprised you about the school in the process?
I think how we had to get teacher recommendations and all the requirements for it. For example, we had to write an essay, and we had to apply for a scholarship to come here if we want one. And it was like, wow, this is like serious. This is big.
Yeah. And have you worked at, you work at Garmin?
Yes.
And have you worked there right from the start?
No, actually, I started at a hospital, Children's Mercy Hospital, actually. And so I worked there my freshman and sophomore years. Junior year, which is the year I'm in, it was a huge change. And then I communicated with CWSP and told them that I want to be an engineer. And then, so they placed me with Garmin.
And what was your initial feelings when you went to Garmin? Was it was a big switch, it was a big change, obviously, but it was in the area that you eventually want to pursue. Was it intimidating in any way?
It was pretty scary, and I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect from me. It was something totally new. But as soon as I started communicating with people, and they're like, oh, you could shadow our engineers here. And I know, like, I don't know what type of engineer I want to become yet. So, like, we'll give you many options that you could look at. And it just, like, helped me, like, feel relief. Like,
how about the social aspect of the workplace? Obviously, this school is 95% minority, basically Hispanic and African American, and now you're going to a workplace where it's not the case. And was that eye opening? Was it challenging, or was there a feeling of acceptance?
It was huge, actually. At Garmin International, there's people from all types of backgrounds that speak totally different languages. I remember a person from Scotland went there, and I was like, wow. So it just helped me, like, it helped open my eyes. And, like, there's more than beyond what I know. There's more beyond.
And, you know, most people who come here, you live 12 minutes away by car, and so there's effort involved in coming here. But the whole business model of Cristo Rey is to break the cycle of poverty. Tell me a little bit about your background and what you want to succeed and move yourself up from.
Okay. I come from a family where no one has graduated college yet. One person, which is my uncle, graduated from high school but didn't pursue his dreams due to, like, money problems. And my older brother, he graduated high school, but he dropped out of college. So I want to break that cycle that's set for me already. I don't know where exactly I want to go yet, but I know that I'll make it somewhere. And that's my goal, to get out of the cycle and to show for my younger siblings that they could do it too.
Well, you are one of the, I heard it described to me, and you'll be feeling like I'm bragging on you, but I'm going to. There's an employee of the month, and they said they just give you the employee of the, or student of the year, because you'd be the student of the month every month. So obviously you're working hard and doing things right.
Yes.
What's the most challenging thing or challenging class for you? You're a high achiever. Is there anything that's been a particular challenge for you?
Actually, yes. I'm taking AP American History, and that's by far my most challenging class. I have to basically manage my own time, set my schedule of, like, okay, I need to study for this at this time, and have what classes I'm going to do the homework for ready. But yet, although it's the most challenging, it's my favorite because I love a challenge. I can't go to classes where I'm going to be bored. So I love giving myself that challenge and opening myself up to new things.
In some segments of the youth culture, being a good student and being, somebody who wants to achieve isn't considered quote unquote cool. Do you face that sometimes in your everyday life?
I do, actually. I get called names like nerd or why do you always do your homework? And I'm just like, well, I don't let that block my dreams, or I have a vision and I have my mindset on a goal, and that's the goal that I'm going for. I don't let people's comments and stuff that they're saying towards me affect that, because I know where I'm heading and I have that goal set. And
you said you don't know quite where you want to go to college yet, but you're kind of looking at maybe Rolla, I believe.
Yes, I am.
And that's the Missouri. What is it now? Something in technology.
Missouri S&T.
Yeah,
yes.
S&T. That's right. Thank you.
Yes.
So is that maybe your eye on the prize, or are you starting as you succeed so much and head to your senior year as you're a junior now? Are you looking anywhere else?
I am. I'm looking at universities in Texas and Colorado. I have family in both, so that's great. I do want to do engineering management, but there's a possibility where I'll do management instead, so I could become the CEO of a company someday. So there's that opening. So yes, I am looking at some.
What would you say is the best thing about Cristo Rey, and what would you, if you were out, say, recruiting for Cristo Rey or telling somebody else about it, what is it that, what's your little elevator speech about what it's meant to you?
Well, Cristo Rey is extremely diverse. I come from a school that is not as diverse, so when I came here, it's like, wow, it's an eye-opening again. And just every teacher here cares about you. You know everyone's name. You know a bit about them. You communicate with them. We go on retreats. It helps us build us like spiritually, and they don't force their religion upon you, but it helps you open up like there's way more beyond you. And the quote that they say, look forward to the good that is yet to be, has been something that's gotten me through all high school so far. And just like when I know I didn't do as well as I wanted to on something, it's like, okay, well, I can't let that get me down because we have to look forward to the good that is yet to be.
This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like Easton Roofing, the presenting sponsor of Kansas City Profiles at the Danny Kling Scale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Kling Scale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new.